Today we'll be demonstrating a stationary squat while passing a ball back and forth. This exercise is to improve quad strength as well as hand-eye coordination, specifically for athletes such as offensive football linemen that need to explode off of the line, as well as have their hands ready to block a defender. This exercise, under Gentile's taxonomy would be classified as a 3B. Mark's body orientation is stationary. He is manipulating an object. The regulatory conditions are in motion because he has to respond to my movement and timing, and there's no inner child variability because he knows where I will be at 3 points along this ladder. Let's go ahead and demonstrate it now. Ready, Mark? Within this exercise, there are some critical factors to maintain in order to successfully complete this exercise. Within the hand-eye coordination portion, as Mark sits into his squat, he needs to catch the ball. As he stands, he needs to release it. This promotes timing and rhythm of this portion of the exercise. Within the stationary squat portion of the exercise, as Mark sits back, he needs to initiate a hip hinge, which initiates muscle activity in the glutes and the quadriceps. Additionally, as Mark sits into his squat, he needs to distribute his weight to his heels in order to take unnecessary pressure off of those knees. Lastly, again, as he sits into his squat, he needs to have his knees maintain the same line as his toes in order to maintain proper form of a squat. There are also flexible factors to consider in this exercise, first being foot position. The performer can either choose to have their toes going straight forward or at a slightly outward angle. Again, as long as knees are maintained in the same line as the toes, either one is up to the performer's discretion. Also, there is the flexible factor of depth of squat. Again, the performer can choose to either go at 90 degrees, lower, higher, again, totally up to their discretion and their preference. From the initial exercise, we can break it down into simpler tasks, the first being a traditional squat. This activity would fall under the 1A classification of Gentile's taxonomy. There is no object manipulation, there is body stability, no inner child variability, and regulatory conditions are stationary. From this task, we can progress into a jump squat for added difficulty. And from this progression, we can progress further into a single leg squat for even more difficulty. Both the traditional squat and its progressions will focus on the critical factors of the stationary squat aspect of the initial exercise. This task breakdown, both the traditional squat and its progressions, can be done for 2 sets of 10 reps until comfortability in order to move on to the subsequent progressions and then progress toward the initial exercise. This task breakdown can be done in regular routine throughout the week, about 3 sets of 10, 3 times a week in order to acquire the skills needed to do the initial exercise and build toward the goal of meeting hand-eye coordination with lower leg power. The second simplified task of the original exercise would be Mark performing a squat while pretending to throw a ball. This classification would fall under 2A on Gentile's taxonomy because the regulatory conditions are stationary. He is not responding to anything in his environment. There's no object manipulation, and there is no body transport. However, there is inner child variability because he is randomizing where he is throwing the pretend ball. This can be progressed to a jump squat while still pretending to throw a ball in a random order. This can also be progressed to a single leg squat while still pretending to throw the ball for the final step in order to progress to the initial exercise seen earlier. This task can also be done for 2 sets of 10 reps until comfortable in order to progress to the final exercise, or again, added into a regular weekly routine of 3 sets of 10, 3 times a week until skill acquisition is acquired.